studio. This is WMVP WTBC HD2, Chicago.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
Coming up on SportsCenter all night. We're on to Cincinnati.
The deal is in place, but there is a disagreement over the guaranteed money in the deal. It's a big disagreement so far. Now, maybe the two sides can figure out a way to bridge their differences.
Movement across the majors as the trade deadline looms.
There are a lot of teams out there that need starting pitching. The Chicago Cubs at the top of the list. The Boston Red Sox are looking to add a starter. The New York Mets, the New York Yankees. Pitching wins in October.
A WNBA tripleheader.
Rink stepping behind the line for three. That's going to relax her big time on the offensive end. She shot it very well in the 15 games as a rookie last season.
Plus the latest from fall camp.
I see a better player than we had last year. And you might be like, whoa, like that's the same thing I said when I saw him out there. I'm like, whoa. But if you know Hutch, which all of you do, and the way he works, the way he attacked his rehab, a week after the surgeries, he's in here trying to work out and things like that. It's no surprise.
Worldwide headquarters of ESPN. This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter all night, ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM, Channel 80. Some game-ending drama for Atlanta. That's on the way. Some concern in Atlanta. It's been a struggle this season for the Braves. Tuesday wasn't necessarily great either on the field against the Royals.
Here's the pitch. Isbell slices it into left center field. That's a base hit. Frazier comes in to score. The ball goes all the way to the wall. Fermin crosses behind him. Here comes Grichuk around third. He scores standing. Kyle Isbell clears the bases. A 3-run double. And the Royals lead 7-3 in the bottom of the sixth. The payoff pitch. In on the ground, back up the middle, a base hit into center field. Isbell rounds third, he's in to score standing. Another RBI single for Bobby Witt Jr. The Royals have a fourth run in the bottom of the sixth. It's now 8-3.
96.5 The Fan, 9-6 would be the final. Bobby Witt Jr. 2 for 4, 8-game hit streak, tying his third longest this season. Braves with another loss. They fall to 3-8 since the All-Star break, second worst in baseball. Giants are 2-9. On top of that for Atlanta, outfielder Ronald Acuna Jr. was removed from Tuesday's loss in Kansas City with tightness in his right Achilles. He'll be placed on the 10-day injured list. Acuna saying he initially felt pain while running the bases Monday night. Says the discomfort returned after he ran for a foul ball in the sixth inning on Tuesday. Later in the inning, the ball was hit over his head. He gave chase, left the game after the sixth. His manager, Brian Snitker.
I think he tweaked it yesterday a little bit and going to try and play through it. And kind of like when he went after that foul ball, then he couldn't really get to the other ball. So, it's Achilles saying he's going to take a while.
Did he tweak it in the game yesterday? Was there a moment it was? Or
I think when he scored on a ball, I think he might have lunged at the plate or something and landed wrong, and then it was bothering him a little bit, but he wanted to keep trying. And then I said when he went to the line to get that ball and then the ball in the gap, I was just like, he ended up hurting it worse. So I go on the IL and hopefully in 10 days it'll help clear it up.
Week and a half on the IL. Acuna saying on Tuesday, quote, "It was hurting even more. I was kind of out there hoping they wouldn't hit it my way. And, of course, anytime you do that, they always hit it your way." He says the pain was worse than it was on Monday, and he admits he's worried. Acuna, five-time All-Star, 2023 NL MVP, missed most of last season with a torn left ACL. We had some late-game heroics on Tuesday in Cincinnati, Dodgers and Reds.
And the pitch to Will. He swings. He drills it to left field. This ball's going to head back and bounce off the track and off the wall. Outman around second. He's on his way to third. He's being waved home. The cutoff is dropped. Head first slide. Safe. And Will Smith delivers with 2 outs. He gets the go-ahead run in, and the Dodgers lead it 5-4.
AM 570 LA Sports 5-4 the final. Will Smith 2 for 5, couple of RBI, records his second go-ahead hit in the ninth inning or later this season, and it lifts the Dodgers to the win in Cincinnati. After the win, he spoke with Spectrum Sportsnet LA.
Well, let's just start with how this game ended. Alex Vesia, I was hearing it was a changeup, feeling a little frisky out there between you guys, huh?
Yeah, that was a good one there to end it. He executed, got ahead of that last guy. 1, 2, 3 innings. So that was awesome.
When you look at this game, this being in a situation there in the ninth inning, a 2-out, you put up the double to bring home James Outman. What were you looking for in that bat to get that result?
Yeah, first Mikey getting on with the walk and then pinch running out. Mikey's at bat was the at-bat of the game right there. Got a mistake heater, over the heart of the plate. Was able to get in the outfield and, let out he scored.
Of course, you talked about Alex, but the bullpen was the group that kept you all in this game. What was it like just navigating through that Reds lineup with them?
Yeah, they were really good, all of them. Dreyer, Caspi, Banda, they were all great. So, we needed it. We needed to pick up Tyler today. Tyler had to pitch well until, kind of last inning got to him. But, they were really good today.
You've been excellent all year, and there have been so many different situations in which you've come in the clutch. But is it different when you have a situation like that at a stadium in which you grew up coming to? Does it make it more special?
Yeah, it's cool. It's always fun playing in Cincy, close to home and all that. But, just trying to walk out of here with a W.
And that's what they did on Tuesday, the 5-4 win, courtesy of the hit in the ninth inning. Will Smith records his first go-ahead hit with 2 outs in the ninth inning or later since 2021. Shohei Ohtani, 0 for 5, struck out 4 times. Tied for the most in a game in his career. Dodgers get the win, though, 5-4 over the Reds. The decisive hit in their game coming in the ninth in San Francisco. Pirates get their key hit in the eighth.
Here's a 1-2, swinging a ground ball. Past third, it's in the left, base hit. Gonzalez will come in to score. Everyone moves up a spot, and the Pirates take the lead off the bat of Joey Bart here in San Francisco. It's 2-1 Pirates.
What a big boost there, Joey Bart.
93-7, the Fan. Pirates would ultimately win it 3-1. Joey Bart, RBI single in the eighth, third career go-ahead hit in the eighth inning or later. All 3 this season. Giants falling at home 3-1 to the Pirates. Giants are 2-11 since July 12th. Worst record in baseball over that span. They now have 7 straight home losses. First time that's happened since they lost 9 straight at home in 2015. Sports Center all night. ESPN Radio. We are heading into the 30th of July. Just another day remaining for teams to make trades prior to the deadline on Thursday afternoon. Orioles, Blue Jays doing just that. Hold that thought, because on the field they played each other twice. Game 1, Baltimore was piling it on.
Gunner, deep fly ball, right center field, way back there, and that baby's gone! A 3-run homer for Henderson, and the Orioles are beating the Blue Jays up. It is a Baltimore rout over the first place Blue Jays. Gunnar Henderson to the bleachers in right center. Some 420 feet later, see you later. 13-3 Baltimore. Urias powers one to left field. That's hit well. Back goes Loperfido. Bye-bye baseball. Ramon Urias into the seats and left. I can get used to this. Second home run of the game for Ramon. And the Orioles are up 11.
Orioles wind up winning it by a dozen. 16-4. WBAL with the call. Orioles tying a single-game Major League record for sacrifice flies with 5. That was last done by the Mariners in 2008 against Kansas City. Orioles beat the Blue Jays 16-4 in Game 1. As for Game 2.
0-1. Golfed right field. Lucas onto the warning track. He reaches the high wall, jumps up. He knocks the ball down. He doesn't know where it is. It's in play. Henderson rounds third. Coming to the plate. He scores! A double by Gunnar. A double by Adley. And an 8th inning Orioles lead. It's 3-2.
WBAL there as well as the Orioles get the 3-2 win over the Blue Jays. Orioles sweeping the doubleheader. They have won 5 straight games overall. Baltimore's second longest win streak this season. They also won a half dozen games, 6 straight from the end of May to the beginning of June. Blue Jays have lost 4 straight Bo Bichette, 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Second time this season he has gone hitless in at least 5 at-bats with 3 or more strikeouts. So the Orioles sweep the doubleheader, but for Sir Anthony Dominguez, it was a split. He was on Baltimore's roster Tuesday afternoon during the first game of the doubleheader. Between games, he's traded. So he was a member of the Blue Jays for Game 2. He even pitched, tossed a scoreless 7th for Toronto, although Baltimore obviously wound up winning 3-2. The trade involved a minor league pitcher as part of the deal as well, Deron Watts-Brown. The Double-A affiliates for the Blue Jays and Orioles, New Hampshire and Chesapeake, were also playing each other Tuesday. So while they didn't play a doubleheader for each team, he just had to switch clubhouses. Convenient trade, both on the major league and minor league levels. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
Trey Hendrickson didn't report with the rest of the Bengals entering the final year of his current deal.
Trey Hendrickson is a fine player. He's a good guy. We want him here.
Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals basically had a deal worked out, but it bogged down over guaranteed money.
Last major contract issue for the Bengals might be closer to a resolution. Trey Hendrickson, the defensive end, set to end his holdout and report for training camp on Wednesday. According to our Adam Schefter, Hendrickson has been absent from the first week of workouts, trying to land a contract extension. He was officially placed on the team's did not report list on July 23rd, a day after the rest of the team, and had its veterans arrive, but he was not there. ESPN insider Adam Schefter.
The deal is in place, but there is a disagreement over the guaranteed money in the deal, and it's a big disagreement so far. Now, maybe the two sides can figure out a way to bridge their differences, but the Bengals typically have not guaranteed full deals. They did it for Joe Burrow. They did it essentially for Ja'Marr Chase. They're not willing to do it for Trey Hendrickson. And so it's up to the two sides to figure out what is the proper guarantee. They could agree on the years. They could agree on the average. None of those are issues right now. The whole issue, the whole hang-up, and the reason that Trey Hendrickson still is in Florida today is over guaranteed money.
Hendrickson will turn 31 this season, reigning NFL sack leader, AP All-Pro after leading the team with 17.5 sacks. He was a Pro Bowl selection for the 4th straight season. There's holding out, and there's also showing up even though you don't have a deal. Earlier on ESPN Radio, our Ian Fitzsimmons.
I'll never understand why you hold out, because I want to be in front of the people that I want my money from and remind them how great I am. If I am the NFL sack leader in Trey Hendrickson. Yeah. So when somebody screws up in practice at my position and I'm over here riding a bike on the sideline, guess what? My position coach, my coordinator, my head coach can all look over and go, damn, we miss that guy.
We need him.
Can we get him back out here? I've never understood why you're not in front of the people you want money from.
Trey Hendrickson expected to show up on Wednesday. If the two sides can get the issue resolved, the Bengals would have their full complement of players for the first time since the end of the 2024 season. Another high-profile scenario involves the Dallas Cowboys and Micah Parsons. ESPN's Adam Schefter.
The actual negotiations, they're on them right now. They're not really talking. So I think both sides didn't particularly enjoy how each handled it, and I think it rubbed each the wrong way. And I don't think they're in a spot now where they're talking about doing a deal right now.
Still an important deal to get done in Dallas. ESPN's Field Yates.
It needs to get done, and I have an idea of where this one's going to head. It's probably going to linger for a while, more stuff that's said publicly that probably shouldn't get said publicly. And the Cowboys will end up making Micah Parsons probably the highest-paid defensive player in NFL history. The problem with this is that it was such a no-brainer, even last offseason. And think about how much the price of an edge rusher has gone up since the day Micah Parsons became extension eligible, which was January of 2024. You take care of business early. What ends up happening is you get deals that obviously make the player happy because he gets paid as soon as possible, but they end up being team-friendly as well. The Philadelphia Eagles have mastered this, and it becomes a part of the culture as well. For the Cowboys, it's become a part of the culture. The problem is the culture is they wait until the last minute. The team ends up getting a deal which is at the very top of the market for the player. So it's good for the player, but for the team, trying to plan for a roster that's going to include 89 other guys during training camp makes roster construction harder than it needs to be.
And it still hovers over the Cowboys as we head through the summer of 2025. The NFL scare this week That's next. Sports Center All Night continues at ESPN Radio.
The traditions. The rivalries.
Delivers a shot to the end zone. Touchdown.
The drama.
Every week there was something magical.
This is the most wide open college football season we've had ever.
24 days until week 1 kicks off. College football lives here. ESPN Radio. More Sports Center All Night coming up next.
The Waddle and Sylvie audio experience.
Everything is blue sky and sunshine. Everything is soft serve ice cream and wine. It's all delicious.
Did you say soft serve ice cream and wine?
Yeah.
Is that a combination?
Ice cream, chillin', ice cream.
Waddle's a bad dessert guy. There's not many things that Waddle's bad at. That's his kryptonite.
Get Waddle and Sylvie podcasts on demand in the ESPN Chicago app or listen weekdays 2:30 to 6:30 ESPN Chicago.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus, offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Shell.
The greatest stories aren't found in books, or films, or folk songs. The stories that truly bring us together are found in ESPN Fantasy Football. Stories of late-round love and first-round heartbreak. Tales of Hail Marys and Monday Night Miracles. Chronicles of punishments. Oh, the punishments. Friends growing closer than ever through the power of humiliation. It's all here. And while the football might be fantasy, the stories, very real. Download the ESPN Fantasy app, sign up, and write the story of your season.
Mike Ditka on Tom Waddle.
Whatever he's accomplished in life, he's done it because of Tom Waddle. He's done it because of the effort he put into being a football player, for one thing. If you're talking about full-out speed and blazing talent, no. But how do you measure the heart and the will of an individual? And he had that. So if you have the heart and the will, that's going to propel you to do things a lot greater than this guy who has these flexy muscles and stands around and gets his ass kicked when the ball snapped.
Hear Waddle with Sylvie.
Now, weekdays 2:30 to 6:30 on ESPN Chicago.
Vision loss is not something that you feel until it happens.
Most people lose their vision from diseases like macular degeneration and glaucoma, not at birth.
With macular degeneration, you lose your central vision.
You have a blind spot right in the center of your face, so I can't actually see your face.
So even that little circle in which I could see became a big blur.
I was 65 when I first was diagnosed with glaucoma.
There were no symptoms. I had no headaches.
3 million Americans have glaucoma, and half don't even know it.
11 million people in the United States have macular degeneration.
You lose mobility, independence, changes your entire life.
So many eye disorders can be treated if caught early.
My husband tells me that I have beautiful brown eyes, and I don't want to lose that.
Make a plan today to get your eyes checked.
Visit brightfocus.org to learn more.
Chicago's home for sports is in your home through your smart speaker. Just ask Alexa or Google to play ESPN Chicago.
This is Sports Center All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
Sports Center All Night is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. If something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be. It was on Monday. A gunman walked into a massive office building on Park Avenue in New York City, sprayed bullets, killed 4 before shooting himself. Another man in stable condition in the hospital. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says he is an employee of the NFL, which has its league headquarters in that building. Authorities in New York saying the gunman was indeed targeting the NFL offices on Monday, but they say he wound up on the wrong elevator. ESPN's Jeff Darlington is in New York.
As they boarded up the entrance to this building that is home to the NFL headquarters on Tuesday, covering bullet holes through shattered glass, it was a harsh reminder of what happened a day earlier. At 6:30 p.m., when the active shooter entered the lobby, one league employee estimated that 30 to 40% of the workforce was still in the office working into the evening. Those employees heard the gunshots from their offices and watched from the windows of this building as dozens of police officers entered while sheltering in place. One league employee was shot in the lobby, but is expected to make a full recovery. Other employees left stunned as Commissioner Roger Goodell instructed them in an overnight memo to work remotely or take the day off. Goodell also sending his thoughts to the 4 victims fatally wounded in the attack. The NFL will attempt to return to work on Wednesday, even if it will feel anything but normal.
Most of those will continue to work remotely. The commissioner is saying maybe by the end of next week they can return to the office. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. WNBA on Tuesday. Valkyries get a game-winning shot with 3 seconds to go and beat the Dreams 77-75. Atlanta falling to the Valkyries. Dream 0-2 this season on the front end of a back-to-back. Aces and Sparks.
Rink stepping behind the line for 3. She makes her first bucket in her return. That's going to relax her big time on the offensive end. She shot it very well in the 15 games as a rookie last season.
Cam Brink for LA, 5 points, 3 rebounds, making her season debut. Last played in June of 2024, missed time with a torn ACL. Finishes with 5 points in this one, but A'ja Wilson comes through.
Under 90 seconds left in this one. Wilson missing there from the foul line. Gets it right back. Wilson on the drive gets the layup. And the crowd knows it. It's up on the scoreboard here at Crypto. So officially they give Young the assist there, making it her 10th. And there's the triple-double.
It was on NBA TV. Aces an 89-74 win over the Sparks. Sparks lose the game, even though they do get Cam Brink back. ESPN's Alexa Philippou.
This is the 3-time MVP. She's still, I know a lot of people are talking about Nafisa Collier as a MVP frontrunner this year, but this is still arguably the best player in the world. She's showing exactly why with the way she's able to get her mid-range going, the way she's able to dominate her assists. She's finding open teammates when she's getting a lot of defensive attention. So she just took over in that first quarter, especially where she had 17 of her points and was nearly outscoring the Sparks and doing what she does best and really feasting against that Sparks front court.
Obviously, the headliner for this game, it's turned into the A'ja Wilson show, as it often does when the Las Vegas Aces are on the floor. But Cam Brink's return after 13 months away after tearing her ACL. Initial impressions of Cam back on the floor.
I just love seeing her feistiness, her competitive edge come out. You know, there'd be times when she was not thrilled with a call or, you know, she was hustling to get a loose ball. And, you know, a lot of the basketball stuff, that's going to, you know, come with time, right? Because she hasn't been on the floor, hasn't had game action in so long. But I think the competitive edge that people associate with Cam Brink is alive and well. And it was a really great moment when she attempted her first shot of the game. It was a 3. She made it. And you know what? The Sparks needed it.
Finishes with 5 points in the loss for L.A. As for A'ja Wilson, that huge first quarter, 23 points in the first half, 34 points for the game, 34 and 10 rebounds as the Aces get the win over the Sparks, 89-74. Mystics, a 103-86 win over the Sky. Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso, first Sky duo to each have 20 points and 10 rebounds in the same game in franchise history, but it comes in a loss for Chicago. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. A lot of focus on the Philadelphia Phillies this week. What with the confrontation that came to light in the clubhouse with Commissioner Rob Manfred on the field on Tuesday.
Schwarber blasts it. High and deep right field. Forget about it. Whoa, that one's gone. Way up onto the light landing in right field is Kyle Schwarber with an absolute bomb to right field. It's his 37th of the season. And it's 4-0 Phillies.
Phillies go on to a 6-3 win over the White Sox, 94 WIP. Schwarber 2 for 4 with the 2-run home run, his 37th of the season. Schwarber now has 12 homers in July, most in Major League Baseball. The confrontation with the Commissioner Rob Manfred certainly making headlines. As for the storylines we can expect till the end of the season, Tony Kornheiser, Pablo Torre.
All right, Pablo, what is the most interesting second half MLB storyline to you?
It's the Red Sox, and I say that as somebody rooting for the Red Sox to not be nearly as good as they had been, winning 10 in a row before finally losing one. Because, Tony, I have been hearing Red Sox fans who are my friends say, oh, my God, I can no longer root for this team because we lost Rafael Devers, to then rooting against Devers as he's off in San Francisco, and then saying to themselves, I've never cared more about a team than the one without Rafael Devers. And so are they buyers? Are they sellers? Or 3.5 pack in the AL East? This is all on the line, and they got the Dodgers and the Phillies coming up after the Cubs. It's hard, but they're going to be in the mix, and I think it could go either way, which is what's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a couple of individual things. Cal Raleigh, can he keep this up, okay? Can he set the major league record, which is now 48 home runs for a catcher in a single season? Can he go beyond that? He's actually on pace for 64. Can he get that? That would be insane. Or is it such a hard position to play physically that he will hit the proverbial wall? I'm interested in that. I'm interested in Paul Skeens. I love watching him pitch. But I wonder at some point, I mean, he's flirting with a sub-2 ERA right now. But his team gives him no support. Can you stay diligent? Can you stay optimistic? Or at some point, does it wear you down? And in terms of a team thing, I'd like to see the Dodgers and Yankees. They're on a slide right now. I'd like to see them come out of that slide. Because honestly, Pablo, I like to see them in the World Series. I liked it last year. I'd like to see it again.
Yes, I want more Ohtani, by the way. We didn't even mention him. Is he going to throw? How much is he going to throw? And by the way, speaking of throws, that's it. We're done. Back to you.
Ohtani striking out multiple times on Tuesday, going 0 for 5 for the Dodgers. Meanwhile, the team that averted disaster this week ahead of the baseball trade deadline. That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
What's up, kiddos? Clinton Yates here. Coming up on Wednesday, we'll rank the worst teams in the NFL and update you on all the latest with the approaching trade deadline in baseball. That's Wednesday on Clinton and Friends at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Cap and J Hood.
It's so good to have you guys a part of my life. And when I tune in every day, even though I don't call in as much as I should, I keep it locked in all the time up here in the snow.
I appreciate you, Curtis. Thank you so much for listening.
This radio station is by far the best radio station.
Get Cap and J Hood podcasts on demand in the ESPN Chicago app or listen weekdays 7 to 10 on ESPN 1000 and 100.3 HD2.
We're definitely going to be late for kickoff. We should be at the game by now.
I'm just taking a little detour. I've got to fill up my gas tank, and I know this place a couple of towns over where the gas is cheaper.
Are you serious? We missed tailgating because you're driving out of the way for cheaper gas. Just use Upside.
What's Upside?
Upside is the free cashback app that gets you real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, I can get cash back just for buying the gas I need anyway?
Yes, I use it all the time, and I made around $200. Now pull over so you can download the Upside app before we miss the whole first quarter.
Football fans, download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FIELD to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank, PayPal, or as a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FIELD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FIELD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's code FIELD.
You know what's wild? Yuengling's been brewing beer since 1829. That's 196 years.
They've been around longer than almost everything. You don't last that long without knowing what you're doing.
Exactly. It all comes down to one thing. They brew great beer. Plain and simple.
Traditional lager, flight, light lager, you name it, they all bring serious flavor and that legendary Yuengling quality.
Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America.
E.G. Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA.
The open road is calling, and the ride begins at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. This July, you could burn rubber on a custom Harley-Davidson in the Fire Up Your Fantasy motorcycle giveaway. Play with your rewards card all July for entries. Thursday drawings for extra cash and reward play. Fire Up Your Fantasy, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today. We're with Liam after his 4th military move, when being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays, when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Waddle and Sylvie, now weekdays 2:30 to 6:30 on ESPN Chicago.
This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter All Night, taking you to 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Evan Cohen, Chris Kenny, Michelle Smallman each weekday morning, 6 to 10 Eastern with Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter All Night.
Trey Hendrickson expected back with the Bengals this week, although still no new contract. WNBA sees Asia Wilson drop 34 as the Aces beat the Sparks by 15. Ronald Acuna Jr. heading to the IL with an Achilles issue that he admits has him worried. On the diamond, Padres continuing their series with the Mets.
1-1 to Manny, and Machado laces it in the air to deep left. Nimmo back to watch this one. Gonna go! A 3-run exclamation point home run for Manny Machado. His 20th of the year, and the Padre lead is now 7-1.
7-1 the final as the Padres get the win over the Mets. Jackson Merrill 2 for 4, triple, 2 RBI. Manny Machado 1 for 4 with the 3-run home run, his 20th of the season. That coming as part of a 5-run 7th inning as the Padres pull away, get their 4th consecutive win. The 4 straight wins coming on the heels of their 4-game losing streak. For the Mets, back-to-back losses following a 7-game win streak. They allow at least 7 runs in consecutive games for the 4th time this season. Juan Soto, 0 for 2, left the game after fouling a ball off his left foot during an at-bat in the 4th inning. His manager, Carlos Mendoza.
Well, I mean, he's pretty sore, but we took some X-rays and they were negative. So that's good news. That's good news there. So he's day to day. We'll see where we at for tomorrow, if he's going to be available for the lineup or a player during the game at some point.
I know that occasionally you take an X-ray and then a couple days later, after swelling goes down, you got to check it again. Are you guys confident that this is a negative X-ray, or could that be a situation like that?
Yeah, I was just talking to the trainers and I asked the same questions. Are we planning on, doing some more imaging? And as of right now, the answer is no. X-rays, and let's see how he progresses. It's day to day. So yeah, that's what we got so far.
Then a foul ball that bounced straight into his foot, sent him hopping away from the plate in pain in that 4th inning, limped significantly afterwards, trying to walk it off, struggled to put any weight on it, wound up leaving the game in that 4th inning. Mets wind up losing to the Padres 7-1. Astros and Nationals.
First pitch, and Walker lines it past the leaping house and into left field. That scores Whitcomb. Trammell tearing around third. He'll score without a throw. Christian Walker drives in 2. And the Astros augment their lead once again. Astros now lead 6-2.
Don't get the term augment enough into baseball calls these days. Astros go on to a 7-4 win over the Nationals, snapping a 5-game losing streak overall and a 6-game losing streak at home. 7 runs scored in the 7-4 win over Washington. They had scored a total of 8 runs during their 5-game losing streak. For Washington, James Wood does it again. 1 for 5, 3 strikeouts, struck out 37 times in the month of July, most by any player in the National League. Tigers pouring it on the Diamondbacks.
Gleyber Torres, it's a fly ball to right field. This one's deep. Got a chance. Gone!
Gleyber Torres. Number 11, and the Tigers take a 3-2 lead in the fifth. Fly ball right field off the bat of Riley Green. Watch it fly. Gone. Number 26 for Riley Green. 2-run shot. Tigers having some fun now. 5-2 lead in the fifth.
Tigers go on to a 12-2 win over the Diamondbacks. Third straight win after losing 12 of the previous 13. 97 won the ticket with the call. 3 homers in the fifth inning. Their third time hitting at least 3 homers in an inning this season, which is tied with the Yankees, Cubs, and Orioles for the most such innings this season. Diamondbacks, meanwhile, lost 7 of 8, including 4 in a row. Eugenio Suarez did not play after he was hit by a pitch on his right hand on Monday. X-rays were negative as we approached the trade deadline. ESPN insider Jeff Passan.
Disaster was averted because if he had a broken finger, he would have been untradeable at this point. Already, hand injuries are tough on power hitters especially. You know, it can sap their power, and it can be difficult to come back from that. So teams are a little bit concerned with that, but the belief is that Eugenio Suarez is going to be back in the lineup soon, and he feels good about that. He's not the only big name who could be traded, though. And the one that's come up over the last 24 hours has been Stephen Kwan with the Cleveland Guardians. Now, he had been mentioned by teams a little bit earlier this deadline as a guy who could be out there, but after Emmanuel Clase non-disciplinary paid leave as part of the gambling investigation, Cleveland understands not going to be making the playoffs this year in all likelihood, and with such a paucity of bats out there, Stephen Kwan, a guy who regularly hits 300, who gets on base all the time, and who is a Gold Glove winner in left field, the perfect candidate to go to a number of teams, including the San Diego Padres, the Philadelphia Phillies, and others.
Yeah, I mean, a guy who has the 4th most hits in the American League over the last 4 seasons.
Pretty good.
So what do you anticipate?
The focus is really going to turn, Hannah, to starting pitching, because there haven't been, beyond Chris Paddock, really any starters who have gone at this point, and there are a number out there, starting with Mackenzie Gore, potentially. The price is high on the Nationals all-star. Mitch Keller with the Pittsburgh Pirates could go as well. He's one of the controllable pitchers, along with Sandy Alcantara, the former Cy Young winner. And then you have the Arizona Diamondbacks. 2 guys, both free agents after this year, Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen. There are a lot of teams out there that need starting pitching. The Chicago Cubs at the top of the list. The Boston Red Sox are looking to add a starter. The New York Mets, the New York Yankees. Pitching wins in October, and deadline pitching particularly has a high price, and so teams are just waiting out that price, hoping it'll come down over the next 48 hours.
Red Sox with a 8-5 win over the Twins. Boston's won 3 of its last 4. Twins have lost 8 of 12, gave up 7 or more runs in 3 of the last 4 games. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
The question now becomes, will we see some sort of hold in? For Jerry Jones, though, he's not concerned about Micah and the contract.
Just because we sign him doesn't mean we're going to have it.
Once again, Jerry Jones wants to let everybody know that his yardstick's bigger than anybody else.
Micah Parsons, contract situation still not gelled. It's reaching a critical moment here in the summer of 2025. He and the Cowboys remain deadlocked on their extension talks. ESPN insider Adam Schefter.
It's not a negotiation right now. There's really no conversation about getting a deal done. That could change next week. It could change shortly before the season. We've seen how long Dallas sometimes waits on some of these deals. See CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott last season. This sounds different to me. This sounds a little bit more personal from both sides. It sounds like Dallas is upset with the fact that it felt like it was getting closer to a deal, and then that deal went sideways. And I think Micah Parsons feels like this deal should have been done. I don't think Micah is real happy with them. I don't think they're real happy with him. I don't think anybody's real happy with anybody. And I don't think there's a deal that's being discussed right now, not to mention being close.
Joe Trahan's the lead sports anchor for WFAA in Dallas. He was on ESPN Radio earlier.
It does feel to me, as someone who's been, close to it and around it, that like the Dak Prescott deal, like the CeeDee Lamb deal, like the Zach Martin deal the year prior, they all feel like they're eventually going to get done. And it's just a matter of how Jerry Jones is going to play it. And this one has a little bit more subtext to it, though, because when you go back to the owners' meetings, I do believe that when Jerry and Micah had the meeting then, and they got in depth, and there were some very specific talks about numbers and other things, I think they thought they were really close to a deal. And I don't know if it was the agent who said, whoa, hold on just a second. Let me see how the market's going to play out before we start agreeing to these kinds of things. But that's how it's been painted to us, right? The Cowboys thought they had a deal, or close to a deal, parameters, I should say. And the more this happens, you guys, the more I realize these things are going to go down how Jerry Jones wants them to. He's 82 years old, going to be 83 in October. He's not going to change the way he does business.
Micah Parsons and the Cowboys still far apart on terms. Parsons entering the final year of his rookie deal. Expects to become one of the highest paid defensive players in NFL history, should they be able to come to an agreement. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio. Colts are in the limelight this summer. Questions at quarterback, Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones. Options at quarterback. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler.
Anthony Richardson showed a lot of humility when I talked to him coming off the practice field. He said, look, I need to pick up the slack. I did not work hard enough last year, and that's essentially why I got benched. So he tweaked his offseason, worked harder, worked on his mechanics. He changed his base, his leg base, so he won't sail as many passes. He'll be more accurate. That has shown so far in camp. And so his goal is to realize the Colts' faith in him when they picked him in the top 5 2 years ago, but also realize some of his biggest dreams.
All the greats, they always do more. They do more than what other people are expecting them to do. And, after last season, I feel like I needed to do more, not only for the team, but for myself. If I want to so-called be great and I want to be in the Hall of Fame one day, I have to do more.
Obviously, we're both competitors, and when we're out here, we're trying to put our best foot forward, as quarterbacks and play well. But, the communication in the meeting room or whatever it is off the field has been great, and I think I've learned a lot from him.
As for Jones, the Colts offense has been a steep learning curve, which he said it admittedly affected his first few days of camp. But Shane Steichen told me the last few days he's been rock solid and decisive with his throws. Steichen added that this is going to be neck and neck as a battle for a while, so don't expect a decision for at least a few weeks.
Colts have decision to make at quarterback as we approach the start of the 2025 season. Sports Center all night, ESPN Radio.
Sports Center, 50 states in 50 days.
We going coast to coast. We going coast to coast.
On ESPN Radio.
Focus on Mississippi. Lane Kiffin took over at Ole Miss in 2020. Won all but one in the Egg Bowl since then. Couple of wins with now Giants quarterback Jackson Dart. Lane Kiffin.
I think the passion, our fan bases are extremely passionate about this matchup, all year long about it. And it goes back a long ways. And kind of was a really hated matchup, though there's still some of that. But myself and Coach Leach, we kind of try to take a different approach and have a little healthier matchup. But I think there's still a lot of hate in there.
If I'm a top prospect on your radar and I'm deciding between Ole Miss and Alabama and Georgia and LSU, and I say, Coach Kiffin, why is the SIP the right choice for me? What are you saying back?
Well, I think you mentioned those two programs, the three winningest programs in the SEC over the last 5 years are Ole Miss, Alabama, and Georgia. So, you can do everything you can do there. You can achieve it here, and you can come play here in a really exciting system. On offense and defense, and an electric place to play. And you coach really well and then get prepared for the NFL, as you saw in last year's draft.
And one of those guys was Jackson Dart, who was drafted, made the decision to play at Ole Miss, and he's flourished in your system when we're seeing snippets of him in camp right now. Coach, what are the Giants getting in Jackson Dart?
Well, a great leader, really a phenomenal person, and the way that he came in over his years here and embraced the community, but the players on the team, not just offense, but on defense. And his family did an unbelievable job raising him, and really, on top of that, a great player.
If Jackson moving on means a new quarterback at Oxford, and that'll be Austin Simmons, 19 years old, already a college grad. He's a special young man. What can college football fans expect to see out of Austin?
Well, I think if you watched the Georgia game last year, he came in on a big stage, played extremely well. He's done the same thing in baseball here, pitching in the SEC also as a freshman. So we're excited about him, and a lot of tools around him, and so he doesn't have to do everything by himself. But it's going to be an exciting year.
When you're Mississippi, there's certainly college football. There's also individuals. Mississippi has, over the years, been a hotbed of athletic talent. As for the cream of that crop, guys at PTI.
All right, Wilbon, who is the best athlete from Mississippi?
Tony, I'm colored by this. I'm biased by this. My last childhood hero is from Mississippi, the great Walter Payton, Sweetness. He's born and raised there. He played at Jackson State. And maybe, I don't know, another one of my top 5 football players of all time, Jerry Rice, is from Mississippi. But I'm going with Walter Payton. I mean, that to me is a magical name. And if I did a Mount Rushmore, you and I tend to do that sometimes, it'd be Payton, Rice, Favre, and Manning as in Archie. That would be it. And Cool Papa Bell would have a statue all by himself away from the heads, because only one head belongs by itself. Cool Papa Bell, maybe the greatest nickname ever in baseball, certainly one of them, one of the greatest players. So that's where I sort of live with the state of Mississippi and greatness.
So we are asked to pick the number 1 athlete from Mississippi. Let there be no question here. The number 1 person from Mississippi is Elvis Presley from Tupelo, Mississippi. M.I.
Elvis was a hero to most.
Double P.I. Yeah, but
Hero
not to
most.
you necessarily.
No.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at the names that are in my ear. As Walter Payton, Jerry Rice, Brett Favre, Archie Manning, Lance Allworth, Charlie Connerly, Lem Barney, L.C. Greenwood, Ralph Boston, who had the world record as a long jumper.
Yeah.
Jackie Slater. They're all football players, Mike. And the reason they're all football players is because that's what, well, not Ralph Boston, but that's what matters most in Mississippi. What matters most is the football players that they produce. The best football player in this group is Jerry Rice, because Jerry Rice is the best receiver of all time, and nobody argues that. You can argue that Walter Payton wasn't the best running back, or that Favre or Archie Manning. You know, you can do that. So I would end up going with Jerry Rice, but I do like the Mount Rushmore, and part of me thinks Archie Manning going to Mississippi was such a big deal. Peyton did not. Eli did. Arch is not. But yeah, it's all football, and it's all football. It's like Alabama. It's football. That's what we're talking about.
We're going to go out here. I'm going to mention a football player's name who at 18 years old we thought might make that Mount Rushmore. He was so famous and so talented, the young Marcus Dupree. We were dazzled by him, and he might not go on a Mount Rushmore like that, but you're right, Tony. It's football rich. I was trying to think of like a couple of basketball players, Eric Dampier. It's just football. Absolutely.
There were books written about Marcus Dupree when he was a kid. There were books written about him.
Before he was 21.
Yes.
We're done. Back to you.
Options for that Mississippi Mount Rushmore. Double digits again. That's next. Sports Center All Night continues. It's ESPN Radio.
50 states in 50 days takes us here.
To the great state of Wyoming!
Arizona!
Is this heaven? No, it's Iowa.
Guess who's coming to town?
Let's get after it.
We can already smell the cheese curds here, and it's like 11 a.m.
50 states in 50 days. This is Sports Center on tour.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming on Wednesday, there were 7 new head coaches hired this offseason. I'll tell you what success looks like for each of them in 2025. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
More Sports Center all night. Coming up next.
Carmen and Yurko.
Yurko's like the only guy who somehow is not putting money in Jeff Bezos'
I've never flown in his flying penises that he had. They're odd-shaped.
Yeah.
They are. Phallic-like symbols.
It's like something out of Austin Powers.
I have no want to go out of the atmosphere.
Really? To say you went
Even
to
if it was
space?
free. I don't want to go there. I'm happy on earth.
Get Carmen and Yurko podcasts at your favorite pod place or on the ESPN Chicago app. Carmen and Yurko, weekdays noon to 3, ESPN Chicago.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chevy.
This is a Bears town. We worship great defense. We appreciate frigid temperatures when our 11 are battling their 11 on the lakefront in January. We love a helmet with a chunk of fresh turf lodged in it. This is a Bears town. And we are the new home of the Bears. ESPN Chicago.
Wildlife around the globe needs help. And when you help protect them, you become a friend of the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance. A real friend. The kind of friend you want to thank. And not just with a card or a text, but with a song.
Thank you for being a friend.
Travel down the road and back again.
Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend.
From your friends at the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance, thank you for helping protect wildlife around the globe. Without you, there's no them. Learn more at sdzwa.org/friend.
Thank you for being a friend.
There's an app for that. Download, listen live, podcasts on demand. The ESPN Chicago app.
This is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Jay Reynolds.
SportsCenter all night is presented by Progressive. Back to the diamond we go. Guardians, a 10-4 win over the Rockies on Tuesday. Cleveland scoring in each of the first 6 innings. Rockies, meanwhile, allowing double-digit runs for the 18th time this season. Second most in baseball behind the Athletics, who've done it 20 times. Colorado now 14-41 on the road this season, clinching their 30th losing season on the road in their 33-year history. Yankees and Rays.
High fly ball, center field and deep. Simpson back on the track, got the wall. See ya! A home run into the Yankee bullpen. His 15th of the year, and the Yankees are up by 3.
Yes Network with the call. Anthony Volpe, a career-long 452-foot home run. Cody Bellinger with his 20th home run of the season. The Yankees beat the Rays 7-5. The Rays lost, snapping a 3-game win streak at Yankee Stadium. Yankees, though, get their 4th win in their last 17 games against the American League East. As for the top sounds from Tuesday, Nick DeLuca.
SportsCenter all night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on SportsCenter tonight.
Today's top sound.
How good is that? Are you ready to take?
Number 5.
All right, Jay, good day on the diamond. Starting in St. Louis, Marlins and Cardinals, Graham Pauley showing off some power on 940 WINZ.
0-1, that one hit high in the air, out to right and deep. Walker is back at the track, and it's gone. The first home run as a Marlin for Graham Pauley.
It comes in his 39th game.
Number 4.
In Anaheim Rangers and Angels, Adolis Garcia pulling off an outfield robbery on 105.3 The Fan.
The 1-0 is lifted high into the air, deep right field. Adolis is back, still going back onto the track. He leaps, and he made the catch. He did. Adolis Garcia robs Nolan Shonowell of a home run. He was over the yellow line there in that 8-foot-high wall, and Adolis takes 2 runs off the board.
Number 3.
Phillies in Chicago taking on the White Sox. Kyle Schwarber keeps hitting homers. No doubter to right on 94 WIP.
Schwarber blasts it high and deep right field. Forget about it. Whoa, that one's gone. Way up onto the light landing in right field is Kyle Schwarber with an absolute bomb to right field. It's his 37th of the season. And it's 4-0 Phillies.
Number 2.
Tigers and D-backs in Detroit. Matt Vierling had it, lost it, had it again, reeling it in at the wall on 97-1 The Ticket.
The 1-2. McCann swings it to fly ball deep to right center field. Vierling on the run, tracking it. He will make the catch, bang into the wall, and held on. It popped out of his glove, and he caught it. Unbelievable. Racing onto the track, he made the catch, he hit the wall, the ball popped out, and somehow Matt Vierling got it before it hit the ground.
Number 1.
And JR, top sound of the night from Milwaukee. Cubs and Brewers in a big series in the Central. Andrew Vaughn had the big swing on 620 WTMJ.
Breaking ball, hit high, hit deep, left center, bye-bye baseball! The legend of Andrew Vaughn keeps growing. A grand slam! You have got to be kidding me!
Brewers win at 9-3 over the Cubs. 2-game lead in the NL Central. Vaughn's second career grand slam drove in 6.
This is awesome. What a special group of guys we got. Just good baseball tonight.
Your 3 at-bats, the sac fly, the RBI single, the grand slam, all of them came on the first pitch. Why'd you want to be aggressive tonight? What'd you see?
Just trying to get a good pitch to hit. That's the main key there, and, I was able to get him.
You're so calm. This is your first taste of the Brewers-Cubs rivalry. What do you think of the environment and just these games, how you guys have played so far in the first 2?
Yeah, this was awesome. This crowd's been amazing. We're feeding off them, so it's great.
5 homers, 21 RBI in 15 games since he debuted with the Brewers on July 7th. That's going to do it for SportsCenter All Night. I'm Jay Reynolds. It's Wednesday, July 30th, birthday of Arnold Schwarzenegger, 78 today. Evan Canty, Michelle on deck on Sportsmanlike is next. It's ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Wednesday, my Giants continue to say Russell Wilson is their starter. I'll tell you why they're making a huge mistake. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPN.
The Waddle and Sylvie audio experience.
Everything is blue sky and sunshine. Everything is soft serve ice cream and wine. It's all delicious.
Did you say soft serve ice cream and wine?
Yeah.
Is that a combination?
Ice cream, chillin', ice cream.
Waddle's a bad dessert guy. There's not many things that Waddle's bad at. That's his kryptonite.
Get Waddle and Sylvie podcasts on demand in the ESPN Chicago app or listen weekdays 2:30 to 6:30 ESPN Chicago.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak high. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
My fiance is a veteran. He was a combat medic in the Army.
I did tours in Korea, Germany, and Bosnia before I got injured.
There's been a lot of wear and tear on his body.
My knees are bone on bone from doing all those jumps and lugging my backpack and all that gear around. I was also exposed to toxins.
When Yusuf got out of the military, he needed help getting his disability benefits.
Luckily, DAV came to the rescue. They fought for me the same way that I fought for my country.
Every year, DAV provides life-changing support to more than 1 million veterans like Yusuf, helping them get the benefits they've earned so they can achieve victories, great and small.
Now Yusuf is paying it forward. DAV has been instrumental in helping him start 2 healthcare technology companies that are working to help veterans everywhere.
My victory is never giving up and finding more ways to serve.
He's pretty amazing.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
My husband is a veteran, and he was injured in the line of duty.
It happened while I was deployed to Iraq. We were stopped at a checkpoint, and then all of a sudden, there was a loud explosion. An IED detonated 3 feet from my face.
It was bad.
I remember thinking, who's going to take care of my wife and daughter?
We took care of each other, with a lot of help from DAV.
When America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I don't know what we would have done without them.
DAV was the voice that we didn't have.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans like Jason get the life-changing support and benefits they've earned so they can achieve more victories.
It wasn't easy, but he never gave up.
My victory is knowing my disability doesn't define me.
He's an inspiration.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike. Joe Burrow played GM this offseason. If it doesn't work out for the Cincinnati Bengals, if they go a 3rd straight year of not making the playoffs, then all of a sudden Joe Burrow, his status as a quote-unquote elite quarterback in the eyes of most has to change. All of a sudden he gets relegated to that second tier of quarterback.
Okay, welcome to the show. We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio. ESPN2, we are presented by Progressive Insurance. They offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business and insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today, along with Michelle Small and Chris Canty, Evan Cohen with you. Cece, do you know who sings this song?
Rihanna.
Oh, now
Let's
he does. Go back on the podcast from yesterday where you will learn that Chris Canty had to learn who sings this song.
Yeah.
One of Rihanna's great songs ever.
Oh, I'm all in now. I'm a part of the Navy. Let's go.
Yes, you are.
I'm a part of the Navy.
Wow.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm all
part
in
of
now.
Rihanna Navy.
I'm part of the Navy. Let's go. Rihanna with the album. We waiting on it.
We've been waiting, Rihanna.
Yeah, tell ASAP, just take a beat. We need the album. Let's go.
ASAP, leave her alone.
We need the album, man. Let's go.
Look around for those watching on TV and those listening on the radio. We will explain. We're all wearing the same thing again.
We always do this.
How is this
we
possible?
all sharing a brain. I'm telling you. I've noticed this for months. We all come in a
white
similar
tan kind of get up today,
we're
right?
neutrals.
Yes.
Wow.
It always happens, you guys. We're sharing a brain.
I don't know how this is.
My guess is that won't happen tomorrow because for whatever reason, we have decided that it's a Throwback Thursday get up tomorrow.
For you.
For only one person for no apparent reason.
For no apparent, there is an apparent reason.
What's the reason that I have to dress up like how would early 2000s?
B-Rad, we just
B-Rad? Oh, no, it's not B-Rad because that's the upside down backwards visor. So, and guys, we're not going full B-Rad.
Okay. You revealed that you still have Affliction and or Ed Hardy gear in your closet.
Stashed, yeah.
And as a punishment for that, we're making you wear it here on Unsportsmanlike.
Well, you guys also added to it because there's going to be a look tomorrow, which, by the way, we have to talk about this from a TV perspective. I need the lower third Throwback Thursday. I can't have people just tuning in internally and then seeing me in a Von Dutch hat, Ed Hardy shirt, Puka Nakua neck. What is it called?
Puka shell, choker necklace.
And
the
Nakua necklace.
And the thumb ring is on the way. It should be delivered today.
You know, I told my wife this, and she's like, why are you doing this? And I said, I actually don't even know, like, what the reason is. I'm just like, I'm a clown is what it comes. I'm like, you programmed me. It's a big week for us. Tomorrow we have the Ed Hardy Von Dutch, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then coming up this weekend, the ECHC, the Evan Cohen Hibachi Cookout 2. The entire crew will be at my house for the hibachi cookout. My wife and I were having a debate last night. Did you guys last year? I said no, she said yes. See McSchnoot's grave.
No.
That's what I said.
No.
So for those who are unaware, unbeknownst to me, my daughter and I were having a catch. The ball rolls down a little hill in my front lawn, and then I see a gravestone on my front lawn for McSchnoot. We still have no idea what McSchnoot is. We assume it's an animal, and now we are going to, and it's not ours, and so you guys all are going to visit it. Will you take pictures next to the grave?
Obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to pour one out for McSchnoot.
Yeah, exactly. Throw it up.
Back
so
to
yes,
Rihanna.
big week for us here on Unsportsmanlike, presented by Progressive
Pour it
Insurance.
out.
Maybe a big
Pour it
week
out.
in Cincinnati, as maybe possibly the Trey Hendrickson deal is closer to being done, or maybe possibly the All-Pro defensive end just doesn't want to get fined anymore. As yesterday, we learned by way of Adam Schefter that the holdout is going to now become a hold-in, where he's going to leave Florida and show up to Bengals camp. Guys, what do we make of this? Do we think that it is closer to getting done here?
No.
Okay,
and I
back
don't
to you,
understand
Bob.
why Trey Hendrickson decided to rack up all of these fines before he ultimately acquiesced to the Bengals' demands, which is getting his butt in training camp. If this was how it was going to end a week and a half later, you might as well have showed up. Ain't no new contract on the table. He hadn't signed a new deal. So I'm assuming that will happen later this preseason. But why rack up the fines? What are you talking about? $50,000 a day?
Yes.
Why rack up those fines over the last week and a half, knowing that you can't get that money back because the franchise does not have the ability to rescind the fines because you're on a veteran contract? It just makes no sense in terms of the overall strategy. I don't understand for the life of me why guys won't execute the blueprint, which is to show up and hold in. You don't get fined, but then you also don't participate in team activities in training camp. I don't know if they don't feel comfortable doing business that way, having to look those people eye to eye and tell them that you're not doing something. But that is the way of the world for the NFL right now. That is how you have to operate if you're on a veteran contract. You have to show up to training camp. They've effectively eliminated the holdout for guys on a veteran deal, but that doesn't mean that you can't hold in and withhold your services in order to move the team closer to your demands. Right now, it feels like Trey Hendrickson giving in a little bit more to the Cincinnati Bengals, and if you're his agent, that can't be a good feeling.
No, not at all. But isn't the agent the one that's guiding you through this process? And shouldn't the agent do what you said in the beginning and say, okay, if you're going to report at all, why not just do it at the outset so that we're not racking up any of these fines and we're setting the precedent? At least we know. But when we speak to Adam Schefter yesterday, past tense Adam Schefter yesterday, and he said they're not close and that it's initially further apart than he thought. I don't think that Trey Hendrickson showing up is indicating that the two sides are moving closer together. I think it's that he just doesn't want to be charged $50,000 every day that he misses.
Yeah, and I'm always of the belief that all these things get done. Like, just every holdout ultimately gets done. But strategy has changed here, right? I mean, the strategy was hold out. Now the strategy is hold in. I wouldn't put it past them if this doesn't work to hold out again. Right? I mean, are you saying that there's no chance he goes back to Florida? Because I think there is.
No, I don't think he's going back to Florida. I don't think that's going to happen.
All right.
No, that's not going to happen. Well, and listen, I can think of a lot better ways to spend $250,000.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Fines over $250,000.
That's a lot of money.
For the stunt that he pulled at the start of training camp. When you just saw a teammate in Jamar Chase hold in last year. Now, they framed it behind some obscure injury, but that's what everybody does these days.
Terry McLaurin has
an ankle injury.
Which he may.
Micah Parsons has a back injury. You know,
I'm carrying the defense. My back hurts.
Jalen Ramsey executed this perfectly to shoot his way out of Jacksonville years ago.
2019.
Remember, he had a back injury. He was like, I'm not practicing. I can't play. There's no way that a team's doctors can refute that my back is hurting me. Don't matter how many opinions, how many MRIs, how many x-rays they do. They can't prove my back don't hurt.
Yeah.
And guess what? Because I'm withholding services, because there is no value add to me being on the roster and I'm continuing to cash these checks, the team is ultimately going to move and do something that I want them to do, which is pay me or trade me. And that's exactly what happened to Jalen Ramsey. He got traded and paid. So I don't understand why players that are on veteran contracts don't understand that is how you have to do business in today's NFL.
So I want to follow up on something that you said that's interesting, because when we were talking about these negotiations, you say oftentimes it forces players to, or it preys on their love of the game.
No doubt.
And you said it's maybe he didn't hold in initially. He was holding out because it's hard to look your peers eye to eye and not participate in the same way. So how does that influence how these things will ultimately go? Because if you're there and you love the game, you're with your guys, you're getting in that rhythm of the season, does that maybe give the Bengals a little bit more leverage, because he obviously is a great teammate and wants to be out there?
Oh, it absolutely does, Smalls. And I said this last week, that teams weaponize that against players. Getting with your guys, not wanting to let them down, your passion to do the thing that you've done your entire life, which is play football this time of year. All of a sudden, we've removed those things because the business of football is getting in the way. Well, if you get around your teammates, then all of a sudden there's that pressure. You know, those guys are fighting, trying to build something in order to have the season end the way that everybody wants it to, which is holding up the Lombardi Trophy. And you, as an able-bodied person, are not participating. That is counterintuitive. And that's what the Cincinnati Bengals are banking on. And that's what all NFL owners depend on, which is why they made the rules in this latest collective bargaining agreement the way that they did.
And all of it, Cincinnati, when you say Cincinnati Bengals, 99% of the audience goes immediately to Joe Burrow, right? Like, that's always the focal point.
Yeah.
Trey Hendrickson is important because Joe Burrow is really good. Jamar Chase is unreal, and his relationship with Joe Burrow is really important. And the Bengals have struggled, obviously, since going to the Super Bowl a few years ago. Ryan Clark, ESPN NFL analyst, was on First Take yesterday and had this to say about Joe Burrow as it relates to the Bengals' struggles.
Joe Burrow takes none of the blame for the Cincinnati Bengals not making it to the playoffs. Let's just think about the seasons Joe Burrow has actually finished. In 2 of those seasons, you go to the AFC Championships. In 1 of those seasons, you advance. And then you look at last year, and he's the best quarterback in the world, and it's not a conversation. I don't understand Chris's incessant need to make us not believe in Joe Burrow, or for Joe Burrow to not be a part of the conversation he has earned his way into being a part of. If they got 99 problems, Joe Burrow ain't one.
I think you're Chris.
I am Chris. Can I ask you a question just out of that soundbite? He said Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the world, and it's not even a question.
That's wild.
How are you the best quarterback in the world, and it's not even a question, and you didn't make first or second team All-Pro? How are you the best quarterback in the world? You didn't make the playoffs. You didn't win MVP. How is it unquestioned? I mean, I don't want to focus too much on the semantics, but that was just jarring to hear that. When did we start throwing around hyperbole like that?
We know how good Joe Burrow is. We know we think we know what he's ultimately capable of. We're waiting for the health to be there consistently. But there's 3 guys definitively ahead of him right now.
Yeah, but here's the other thing about that, Smalls, and Pat Costello talks about this all the time. Why are we giving these guys hypothetical banners? Joe Burrow ain't won a damn thing in this league. He ain't won a damn thing. No MVP. He ain't won a Super Bowl. What are we talking about? But because he beat Patrick Mahomes in the game 4 years ago, we're just going to assign to him a certain level of success, a certain level of cachet? I'm not going to do it. And furthermore, when it comes to being quote-unquote blameless in last season, the Cincinnati Bengals spend more on offense in terms of percentage of cap than any team in the NFL. You know what that means to me? You can't use defense or lack thereof as an excuse as to why you can't get where you want to go. You're supposed to be great. You're supposed to be able to prop up one of the worst defenses in the league because that's how the team is spending their resources. And guess what? It only got exacerbated this offseason when they decided to go out and invest $70 million a year in contracts to 2 wide receivers. Now, nobody's saying that Joe Burrow can't have good talent at wide receiver, but nobody has $70 million a year worth of wide receivers. Not nobody, especially when you got a quarterback that's making $55 million a year.
That's right.
And probably in line for a pay raise. So this whole deal about Joe Burrow being absolved of blame is absolutely ridiculous. Last point. He said, just look at the seasons that Joe Burrow has finished. we have to look at the entire body of work. And the best ability is availability. So make of that what you will. But the fact that you have multiple seasons that he didn't finish also enters into the conversation in terms of best player. Because, again, with the most important position in all of team sports, making sure that you got that guy under center each and every Sunday goes a long ways to your team having success. I played with a quarterback that had 200 consecutive starts in Eli Manning. I know how important it was for him to be out there. Ankle injuries and shoulder injuries and knee injuries. It didn't matter. Number 10 was going to be under center. Now, I'm not saying that Eli Manning is Joe Burrow in terms of raw talent, but Eli Manning got 2 of them things, and he beat Tom Brady on the biggest stage that the NFL has to offer. He deserves to be assigned a certain level of greatness, even though he didn't win an MVP. Joe Burrow doesn't have any of that. He doesn't. So I think when we have the Joe Burrow conversation, let's keep things in its proper perspective. There is a lot more show and prove that Joe has to do.
That was strong. Somebody went to GNC pre-show, maybe.
Hey, got a little bit of that Antway Violet. You know what I'm talking about? GNC knows you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps for the perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
We are on September 2nd moving to ESPN Radio, which is also my roots, I'm proud to say.
The return of Rich Eisen.
To be able to go back to where my career started was something that I never thought possible.
September 2nd, weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
Whiskey fans can learn a lot from Professor Carmen DeFalco.
Not too many people that can have sports knowledge and also whiskey bourbon knowledge.
Carmen's amazing. I do like whiskeys and bourbons. Still kind of a novice, and he helps me understand a little bit better what I should be looking for.
I'm a hardcore bourbon guy, and I listen to Carmen Yurko every day.
He can pull out the very essentials that I can't even taste.
Stay tuned for details on the next session of Whiskey U! An ESPN Chicago production. Did you hear this one?
The Bears voted in favor of banning the tush push. They know what the play was, or they're just going on the term tush push. That doesn't sound very posh. Is that a profane term? I don't want it.
It sounds uncomfortable. Go ahead.
That too.
Ow! Ouchie! I haven't done that. Ouchie!
Cap and J Hood presented by ESPN Bet. Weekday morning 7 to 10 on ESPN Chicago and the ESPN Chicago app.